Hey everybody, thanks for joining me as I take a look at another bunch of metal releases. This week focusing on 4 albums that you could basically categorize underneath the black metal genre. Gonna start off with the first two releases by Sweden's Nagelfar. They formed in 1992 and they are still releasing albums and playing to this very day. We're gonna be looking at the first two albums, both 2023 Century Media reissues. I've definitely been listening to a lot more Swedish melodic metal. I told myself, feels like 20 years ago, I was kind of bored of that style, but I've just been getting back into some of these older albums. And, Terminus Extreme Metal Podcast, I really concluded that is the best metal podcast going. And they did some deep dives on Dawn and Sacramentum, two of the best bands of the style. So back to Nagelfar, gonna be looking at their debut album from 1995, Vitra. Again, we're talking melodic Black Death, leaning towards the black, but this is not as catchy as something like Dissection, Old, In Flames, Dark Tranquillity. Definitely much darker, less memorable, and maybe faster than that kind of thing. And the vocals, even for this style, the screams are very shrill and high-pitched, definitely unique. My favorite songs on here are Enslave the Astral Fortress and Through the Midnight Spheres. It's got a 2-page insert, which is mostly valuable to me for the liner notes done by Chris Dick, who I've always been a big fan of his writing. And Vitra comes on blue vinyl. Next up, we have the second album, Diabolical. I forget exactly when this came out, in the 97 to 99 range, I'd say. And an album that I've seen very polarizing opinions of. Some people say it's the best Nagelfar album. Some people say it's the worst. Well, a much darker and more evil sounding album than the debut. I don't resonate with these songs overall. And less fun, less memorable. I think Vitra is going to be a staple going forward, and Diabolical, for me, is going to be largely forgotten. But my favorite tracks are 12th Rising and Into the Cold Voids of Eternity. Similar packaging, but Diabolical is on green. Okay, now we're going to look at a couple CDs. First one being The Deepening by Veimod. Veimod are a Norwegian band, and this is their second full-length album, released in 2023 on Prophecy. So, Veimod are taking on a very atmospheric style of black metal. I'd say best description is Norwegian contemporaries such as Enslaved meets a more American style black metal, like, to be honest, Wolves in the Throne Room. But a very cold and hazy take on the whole thing. Just look at that album cover. This album takes you to that cold place and keeps you there for the duration. Basically an intro and an interlude and 4 longish songs, I think ranging from like 7 to like 15 minutes. Highlight for me is number 2, Der Gurder Dor. Most of these song titles are in Norwegian. The harsh vocals do their job and just kind of blending into the music. Don't really make an impression either way. But the clean vocals are very well done. Bring to mind, actually, Garm from Over. Would be the perfect soundtrack for being way up north in northern Norway and observing the Aurora Borealis. Just a perfect atmosphere for that kind of thing. And when this came out, I streamed it a million times. Now that I got a copy. I played it a million times in the car. And in hindsight, one of the best albums of 2023. Finally, One of Nine, American black metal band, on their second full-length album, released on Profound Lore in 2025. This is Dawn of the Iron Shadow. 90s style melodic black metal, definitely bringing to mind Emperor and Summoning as the two biggest reference points. Album is split into 2 acts. As you can probably tell by the artwork, Tolkien-inspired fantasy, which, to be honest, I'm one of those metal guys that's never really been into fantasy or Tolkien, but I definitely got to at least read that one day, right, before I die, but that time is not anytime soon. Even still, I really like this album. Not one of my favorites of the year, but very strong. Gave it several full spins. And I don't think a black metal band would appreciate the comment, but even still, like the week of Christmas, this was kind of this was in the car stereo. And you just observe like the bright artwork, and it is, for a black metal album, very bright sounding. A lot of like bright sounding bells. I just kind of blended in with Christmas as I was driving home from work and stuff. The synthesizers, the keyboards. So a bright sounding black metal album, but don't get the wrong impression. I wouldn't really call it happy. Again, if you like Summoning and Emperor, you'll probably find something you'll dig on here. My 3 favorite tracks on here are Quest of the Cimmeril, Behold the Shadow of My Thoughts, and Age of Chains. All 3 of those songs are extremely strong. And One of Nine, check them out. That's it for me today. Thanks for watching.